Are you doing cardio to lose fat, improve heart health, or boost endurance? And wondering why it still isn't delivering the results you were promised by fitness gurus, social media influencers, and mainstream workout plans? If you've ever typed phrases like best cardio for weight loss, how much cardio should I do to burn fat, or why isn't cardio working for me, into a search bar, you're already part of a massive group of people who were sold an incomplete story. Cardio has been marketed for decades as the ultimate solution for getting lean, staying healthy, and improving longevity. Yet very few people are told how cardio actually affects the body, the metabolism, hormones, recovery, and long-term results. Understanding these hidden realities is the difference between grinding endlessly with minimal progress and finally seeing sustainable change. One of the biggest misconceptions about cardio is the belief that fat loss is directly proportional to how many calories you burn during a workout. While cardio does burn calories, the body does not operate on a simple input-output spreadsheet. Your metabolism adapts, your energy levels shift, and your hormones respond to repeated stress. When cardio becomes the primary or only strategy for fat loss, especially when paired with reduced calories, the body often responds by becoming more efficient. This efficiency means you burn fewer calories over time for the same amount of work. At the same time, your body may reduce unconscious movement throughout the day, making you feel more tired and less active without you even noticing. The result is frustration, confusion, and the belief that you need to do even more cardio, which only deepens the cycle. Another truth rarely discussed is that excessive cardio can create more problems than it solves. When the body perceives constant high-volume cardio as stress, cortisol levels can remain elevated. Chronic stress doesn't just affect mood. It interferes with sleep, slows recovery, disrupts hormone balance, and can make fat loss significantly harder. Over time, this state encourages muscle breakdown, because muscle tissue is metabolically expensive and the body prioritizes survival over aesthetics. This is why many people lose weight but don't look lean, strong, or athletic. They shrink, but they don't transform. This outcome is especially common among people who rely solely on running, cycling, or endless cardio classes without any form of resistance training. Cardio also has a complicated relationship with appetite, and this is something most fitness advice completely ignores. For some individuals, cardio temporarily suppresses hunger, creating a false sense of control. For others, especially after long or intense sessions, hunger can spike dramatically later in the day. These delayed hunger signals are powerful and biologically driven, not a failure of discipline. People often underestimate how much they eat after cardio, believing they are still in a deficit when, in reality, they've unknowingly erased it. This leads to the common complaint of, "I work out all the time but can't lose weight," when the real issue is how the body compensates for perceived energy loss. If you find this video helpful and informative, please support the Healthy Pantry channel by leaving your comment below, liking this video, and subscribing for more daily health and nutrition tips. Heart health is another area where cardio advice is overly simplified. While cardio is beneficial for the cardiovascular system, not all cardio produces the same adaptations. Long, steady sessions improve endurance and aerobic capacity, but shorter bouts of higher intensity work can significantly improve heart efficiency, oxygen uptake, and overall conditioning in far less time. At the same time, low-intensity movement like walking plays a massive role in long-term health, blood sugar regulation, recovery, and daily calorie expenditure. Walking may not look impressive on social media, but it is one of the most powerful and sustainable forms of cardio available, especially when combined with other training methods. A damaging myth that persists in fitness culture is the idea that cardio must leave you exhausted to be effective. Many people believe that if they aren't drenched in sweat, gasping for air, or completely drained, the workout doesn't count. This mindset leads to overtraining, poor recovery, and increased injury risk. In reality, moderate intensity cardio often provides the greatest return on investment. It improves circulation, supports heart health, aids recovery, and can be performed frequently without overwhelming the nervous system. Fitness is not built through punishment. It's built through consistency. The relationship between cardio and strength training is another area full of misunderstanding. These two forms of exercise are often portrayed as opposing forces, when in reality they complement each other. Strength training builds muscle, improves joint stability, enhances movement efficiency, and raises baseline metabolic rate. When you are stronger, your body moves more efficiently, meaning cardio feels easier and less taxing. Many people discover that after months of strength training, their running pace improves, their cycling power increases, and they fatigue less quickly, even though they are doing less traditional cardio. Muscle is not just for appearance. It is critical for long-term health, injury prevention, and performance. Joint health is a silent factor that deserves far more attention than it gets. Repetitive cardio movements performed week after week can accumulate stress on the joints, tendons, and connective tissues. Running, jumping, and high-impact workouts are not inherently bad, but problems arise when volume increases too quickly, recovery is inadequate, or technique and footwear are ignored. Injuries rarely happen overnight. They build quietly. Cardio should enhance your quality of life, not limit your ability to move pain-free as you age. Another overlooked aspect of cardio is how it fits into real life. Many programs are designed as if people have unlimited time, perfect sleep, and minimal stress. In reality, work, family, mental load, and daily responsibilities all affect recovery and energy. A plan that looks good on paper but cannot be sustained in real life will eventually fail. The most effective cardio routine is not the most extreme one. It's the one you can maintain consistently without sacrificing sleep, mental health, or enjoyment of life. Perhaps the most important truth is that cardio is a tool, not a solution. It can support fat loss, heart health, and endurance when used intelligently, but it cannot compensate for poor sleep, unmanaged stress, inadequate protein intake, or a lack of strength training. When cardio is placed in the correct context, balanced with resistance training, proper nutrition, recovery, and daily movement, it becomes incredibly powerful. When it's treated as the sole answer, it often leads to burnout, stagnation, and frustration. If this perspective on cardio feels different from what you've heard before, that's because most people are only taught how to work harder, not how to work smarter. If you want more honest, science-based insights that actually help you build a body that performs, looks better, and lasts longer, make sure to follow. Share this with someone who's stuck doing endless cardio, and stay tuned for more content that cuts through fitness myths and gives you the full picture. Thank you for joining us here at the Healthy Pantry. We hope you found the information valuable and inspiring. Remember, your health is a journey, and we are here to guide you every step of the way. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.